the Ring of Honor, weighing in at 151 pounds from Trenton, New Jersey, the world famous CB.
Gentlemen, alive at last, here at last, as world famous CB about to make his way to the ring. What an opening contest we have here tonight in Hamburg, Pennsylvania.
Gentlemen, welcome to Camp Leapfrog. Anthony Blackwell joining you here on the call. I'm going to help you guys out a little bit because as a fellow camper, I'm excited to introduce you the world famous CB versus Johnny, the Dark Horse Moran. Buckle up, boys. We're going to have a great time here.
No, let me get this right. You said Camp Leapfrog.
Camp Leapfrog on the IWTV, yes. So Camp Leapfrog essentially is if pro wrestling went to Camp Anawana. It's a pro wrestling camp where they go and they learn fun, great activities and carry on the tradition of professional wrestling while doing so.
And his opponent, weighing in at 215 pounds, from Scranton, Pennsylvania, he is the Dark Horse, Johnny Moran.
Tell you what, Johnny Moran's been around for a while. He's definitely been a veteran of the independents, and he's one tough customer. I know, I've been in the ring with him.
Johnny Moran, one of those big, brutal, tough guys that comes from up north of the mountain here, and he's not afraid to throw hands. I've seen him in many a matches. He is no slouch in the ring.
That right there is the guy you should fear, the guy who has everything to gain and doesn't really give a damn about losing. That tough, scrappy individual, like you said, is not afraid to throw hands. That's the dude you put money on.
Absolutely. Scranton, PA, a working man's town, and this guy not afraid to get in the ring with anybody, doesn't care your reputation, doesn't care where you've been, who you've beaten. He has faith in himself. Win, lose, or draw, the Dark Horse Johnny Moran always brings his A-plus effort.
Moran already signaling the cheeseburger. How's your back?
Does anyone have a report on how Cheeseburger's back is?
He's working through it. I just hope he can pull through this because coming up next week he is part of our Grand Prix Tag Champion tournament coming up at Camp Leapfrog. So this is not going to be an easy match here for World Famous.
You know, as a wrestler, probably the biggest injury you can have is one of the back because your back is your cornerstone. It's the foundation of everything. And if that is off by just a little bit, it can turn your whole game plan on its ear.
Absolutely. As the bell sounds, we're underway. The feeling out stages here. Both men, who wants it more? Alive at last, Outbreak has returned to the historic Hamburg Fieldhouse.
Collar elbow tie up, and Moran just establishing his dominance with the big weight advantage over CB here.
And then he flexes for him, really trying to prove that he's the dominant alpha male early on.
Yeah, that moniker Dark Horse is something he takes very seriously. He feels like every company he goes to, every promotion he goes to, he always is second fiddle. So he takes that with a chip on his shoulder. He goes by that Dark Horse moniker because he really wants to prove himself. He goes wherever he can to really put his stake in the ground.
Thanks for explaining that to me and to the people because we're probably wondering, all of us, why would you go by that Dark Horse moniker? But then when you say it's a chip on his shoulder, it's a badge of honor, it's a way of getting himself motivated to inflict the most no damage is being inflicted right now.
World famous CB striking a pose. Next time, do it on the hard cam side, daddy.
We had to talk about this already earlier today.
Tatted and torn Johnny Moran might be, but that anger might come to his advantage. Eli, what do you think?
I've always been the guy who got in the ring with that chip on his shoulder because I always seemed like I worked harder and I wanted it more and I was less likely to give up and concede to my opponent. So I'm liking Dark Horse right now.
Shoulder tackle by Moran knocks CB down to the ground, and CB's one of those crafty little veterans that you can't sleep on because he will turn your lights out with one palm strike.
Oh, look at that.
Tripped him up by Cheeseburger, or CB as we should say. World famous.
Well, world famous for a reason. He's been in Japan numerous times, ROH. He's been all over the place. We're honestly very honored to have him a part of our Camp Leapfrog roster.
And CB's been gifted the Shote by the legendary Jushin Thunder Liger to continue on the tradition of that move.
CB got a leverage move going on.
Liger's son will be proud.
Oh, there's a strength.
And there's a little speed and agility. CB says, bring it on.
Catches the wrist, tucks it back under.
Ooh, step in, locked in. What's he going to do?
Inflict a little pain. He's going to stretch him out.
Oh, look at this.
Modified octopus.
CB standing tall.
Shoulder, elbow, wrist. All monopolized by CB right now. And Johnny Moran's in a whole lot of trouble.
Johnny's hurting right there. That was like 4 points of pressure on the arm.
CB going for the big stomp on the shoulder, ducked and missed, and there's the shot to the back from Moran.
And right there, you know, that KT tape, that was like a big bullseye on the back of CB's back, and Johnny goes right after it.
Like a blood and water, the shark Johnny Moran is going to attack and bite all night long at that tape on that back.
And Moran really working on the midsection now, really working on the injured back of the world-famous CB. Moran throwing him in the corner now.
And that's a solid game plan. If you attack from behind in the low back and then attack the obliques in the front, you're weakening the entire core at once.
And D'Lo, you know about injuries. You wore that brace for many years.
Yeah, you know, my chest was hurt for a long time. We won't talk about that. It was hurt for a long time.
And now Johnny Moran back in the driver's seat. Double axe handle smash from the second turnbuckle. And Cheeseburger, like you gentlemen said before, the small of the back now injured. A lot of sensitivity there. Could be kidney issues. Certainly, when you injure the back, like you said earlier, D'Lo, it's the center point of all your movement and your motion. And now you're grounding a high flyer. It's a smart, intelligent strategy by the dark horse, Johnny Moran, as he's stretching him out one more time.
Moran just driving those knees right into the small of the back, ensuring that back of CB is not going to get any better through the rest of this match.
Johnny worked very hard on his game during this pandemic. He said, he took a negative and tried to turn it into a positive, and really worked on his body, worked on his physique, studied tape of every single person and every promotion to really hone his craft in. So when he came back into this show like a Leapfrog or even an Outbreak, he's prepared to take that next step.
Well, that's you want to see that during this pandemic, somebody go back to the labs, back to working on themselves, improving their game. And right now you can see Johnny's a smart man. He's got a game plan that's working, and he's working tirelessly on the low back of CB.
Big elbow from CB from the bottom as Moran continues to axe handle and stomp on that back.
CB still got that Bushido spirit, the will to fight, though. He ain't out of it yet.
Moran, Irish whip, shoots him off in the back right into the turnbuckles again.
Doesn't even need to follow it up. The impact alone into the buckles. That back already damaged. More pain, more anguish, more agony. And Johnny Moran, he can't let up on him. He's talking a little smack here. He really needs to keep inflicting that pain. Someone the caliber of world-famous CB with a backbreaker.
Right there. Keep the offense going. 1 point of pressure. Right on the low back, a weak part of the back. You want to keep pounding on it. You want to take away the stability of Cheeseburger. I can't believe I just said that.
Moran shoots him off again. Another shot to the back, and Moran knows he doesn't have to follow it up, but in he comes, and it catches an elbow.
You can't give him an inch there.
Essentially, he was calling his shot. He's got one of the best high knees on the independent scene. By tapping your knee, you're giving away your card.
Ooh. Shoulder first into the post.
Johnny Moran hung up. This is the opening that CB needs. He needs to capitalize, gentlemen, and he needs to do it now.
CB, that crafty veteran, looking to find his spot.
Ooh!
Running flatliner-style bulldog by CB.
And right now, CB is building momentum. Oh, there's a stomp right to the arm. Gentlemen, we are even again. It is now the hurt arm against the hurt back. And if CB bumps down on his back, he can get a divorce court in there, which really can separate the shoulder.
One of the things we do teach at camp, one of our classes, is limb targeting. So they're both guys using that training to its advantage.
Super kick.
Cover him, CB.
Doesn't have a leg hook, but he's right back. CB maintains wrist control. Right back in the arm. It's locked in.
Kimura lock. Johnny Moran has nowhere to go. CB has him cut off from the ropes.
It's locked in.
If you can flatten him out, it might be over.
Now, inching, scraping, clawing, and he grabs that bottom rope barely.
Yeah, if CB would have gotten flat and gotten Johnny flat on his stomach, and he would have, in a sense, blocked off the ropes with his own body, that would have put Johnny dead center in the ring, dead to rights more than likely.
Absolutely, agree 100%, D'Lo, but I think the lower back pain is definitely what was preventing him to get that full leverage to flatten him out and really secure that lock.
That could have, he could have been not wanting to flex the back, not getting that torque on the Kimura. Ooh.
And there's that high knee. Johnny Moran back in the driver's seat.
Flatliner.
If he covers, this could be it.
Hooks the leg lines. Marshall's 1, 2. CB somehow rolls that shoulder, and Moran cannot believe it.
And that's a situation where Johnny Moran did everything right and still can't pick up the win. He's gotten frustrated in so many promotions because he just can't get those big wins sometimes when it matters most.
Moran going for the cane, and Big Isaac Rule up on the ring, grabs that cane.
This is a mistake by Moran. Never turn your back on your opponent.
Oh, roll up.
Roll through.
Got him locked.
Grapevine. 3.
Wow, that'll do it.
And the winner of the match, the world famous CB.
Make sure you guys follow us on IWTV. Also, Independent Wrestling this week on Facebook. We'll be doing the first round of the Grand Prix. It's a hard thing to say, but we're crowning brand new tag champions this week. First round will be on Facebook. Second round will be on IWTV. Thank you, gentlemen, for having me on the table. You guys have a great night. Hopefully, I'll be back later on the night.
Thank you, Anthony Blackwell. He's so frustrated. Johnny Moran can't believe it. Isaac Rule with that split-second distraction. He was in control, and then he wasn't. And world-famous CB knows how to capitalize in those situations.
With a talent that is the level of CB, you cannot take your eyes off him for a nanosecond, let alone turn around and get involved in a verbal altercation with anyone else. CB capitalized on it, locked him in, got the 1, 2, 3.